Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chateau de Grifferaie. You will have noticed, some of you, I'm going to turn the camera, that we rarely put our bedroom on camera. And we like our bedroom, it's got lots of potential, but honestly, we haven't done a ton of work in here because we've been focusing on the program and the students. So typically, this room has been a bit of a mess. It's just not been our focus. But Leslie did some work in it the other day, as you may have noticed. I'll zoom out even further. Okay, it's 0.5, so it might be a little elongated. And it's really looking nice. She's got a little place to do her makeup in the morning. Got the 3 big, beautiful windows that face south. Lots of beautiful warmth during the day. It is warm in the winter, warm in the summer too. And we have a bit of an armoire there. She's got the 2 very comfortable chairs we brought from the States and the mirror that was pre-existing. So it's you know, it's really quite a beautiful beautiful room, and I enjoy it quite a bit. See if I can even get the, we're not completely out of the woods here with cleaning, but you've got that beautiful mirror there too. But I thought it'd be fun to put on camera. You'll notice, if you're one of those folks who looks around at Chateau a lot, you'll notice that there's a bunch of Chateau that are very similar to this one, kind of in the Angers region. That's spelled Angers, A-N-G-E-R-S. And they're all done, I think, by a guy named Bibard. And he's kind of got a style, and part of the style is the big crosses in the windows, which we love, of course. You can even see maybe some of the metal detail work. He also has consistently kind of has a bump out like this on his stuff. And then, of course, one of the main features is all the exquisite detailing on the outside. They're all kind of square, rectangle, you know, lots of... They kind of show similarities. In fact, maybe I'll even try to see if I can find some on the internet and put some pictures up while I'm doing it. They're not super expensive. Some of them are, there's some that are a little more expensive. Like I saw one for $3 million the other day. But a lot of them are more closer to our size, closer to the 1 million, you know, 2 million range. And all very beautiful, I think. All done in the 1800s. While I'm talking about our room, I will also mention that we have, I don't know if you call it upgraded. We had a good little heater that we'd run sometimes at night because it gets really cold in the winter. And just to kind of get this room up to maybe 15, 16 degrees Celsius, a little easier to sleep than 10. And so we had a nice kind of blower, but it was you know, when the temperature was not too cold, it was kind of going on, off, on, off, on, off all the time. And so we went with one of these quieter little oil-filled radiators. Not very powerful, but it's much nicer because it's quiet. So we've been enjoying that. And we can put it on Leslie's side because she likes it maybe warmer than I do. So that's worked well too.
Okay guys, this one's for all of our alumni at LVSA. We have something called Chateau potatoes, and we're going over to somebody's house today, giving us a lovely American Thanksgiving. And so I asked what I could bring, and mashed potatoes was one of the things that I'm like, we could do mashed potatoes. So for all of you wanting to cook something for your parents that takes a load off of them for Christmas, this is Chateau potatoes. This is for you. First, this is only for 4 of us. So this is maybe 10 potatoes, 8 potatoes, depends how big they are. I cut down the middle, and then I fold it down, cut in the middle again, and then cut. The key is not how big they are, even though smaller cooks faster. It's making sure they're all the same size. It feels kind of weird only doing this many potatoes because when we have students here, they come in bags like this, and I probably, for 20, 25 of us, I'll do 5 kilograms, so 2.5 maybe bags of this, 2 really big pots of potatoes. And the other thing I like about France is that they're much less fussy about what their vegetables look like. Check this guy out. He is a funny looking guy, and sometimes in North America we're a little crazy about how our stuff looks and that it has to kind of look perfect all the time. But from one who grew up with a really big garden of my mom growing up, things don't grow perfect all the time, and neither do we, and that's okay. That doesn't mean the goodness in the potato isn't the same. So after we're done this, then you put water in the pan for the smashed potatoes. And we're gonna fill a little bit more water in here because you want them to cover to the top. And then some salt, very important in life, because, so the salt down here is interesting. Oh, look, it's actually coming out. Sometimes it's a bit full of moisture. So anyway, salt. And then you're just gonna put the lid on and boil. All right, mashed potatoes. They're just starting to get foamy on the top. Oh, and they're just starting to bubble just a smidgen. So usually they take around 15-20 minutes, depending on the size of the pot. This one would go faster because it's small compared to the big pots that we do, and you guys, the students, are always here. Over here, I already have the butter cut up, good French salty butter, some cream of varying degrees depending on what you're in the mood for, and my other ingredient is boursin, which maybe some of you in France would roll your eyes and go, really? But yes, we like it. It's good and it tastes great in here. And of course, a good bit of salt and pepper. So while I'm waiting for the potatoes to boil, I'm going to see if we have any chives left. They've been fairly decimated from the session. Already cut some. I do not have hardly anything left. Parsley's looking great, however, but I'll cut whatever I can here of some chives and maybe some parsley for a little extra color on top. Never underestimate the little bit of a zhuzh that you can put on top of anything before you send it out. This little bit of green on potatoes looks great, and I love using scissors to cut it up. Now, these little chives are kind of pathetic because I only have a few of the big ones, and most of the little ones, there's hardly anything left. Big thanks to the friends of ours who helped us get a few great herbs started this year, but I used them so much that I hardly have anything left right now, and it's been very chilly, so they have not wanted to grow back. But this will be a little extra on top, and it's gonna look great. Okay, I think we're ready to go. They have been boiling away. Let's give them a little test. Well, maybe they aren't. You can kind of feel how heavy they are. Oh, they are fork tender. Actually, let's try one of the big ones. I always sort of shove one to the side, give it a poke. You know, I think I'll give it another couple seconds. It is soft, but just. So we're gonna let it sit for another little minute, and then we'll drain it and start mashing. So I drained it. Normally I would keep all that good water for like gravy or something like that, but I left the heat on just for a minute. Can you hear that? It's just taking out the excess water that's sort of sitting in there, just so we can dry the potatoes out even more, so we can add yummy goodness. If it's like an electric oven, I would just leave the heat on without any temperature, but this is gas, so I have to leave it on a little bit just so that the heat still can do its job. And then I'll just leave it on for a second, and then we'll keep going. All right, these are a nice, soft, easy to mash. I'm glad I left them in there longer. They needed it. And I'm gonna mash them first. Usually when we have people down here with me, I have someone mash while I start throwing stuff in. So we're gonna throw in the butter. I wish I could tell you how much. This much. Sorry, guys. But you get the idea. And I'm gonna mash that in first. And then we're gonna put in a little cream. Sometimes I do creme fraiche too, but we'll see. Kind of that much zhuzh. I like my potatoes a little more juicy, I guess, than dry. So that's where we are so far. Now I'm gonna throw in some boursin. And again, I just sort of flake it down like this so that it can fall in little pieces. And then it'll melt in. Again, you kind of have to, taste as you go with mashed potatoes. And then we'll see what we need more of, whether you need more cream or you need more boursin or maybe more butter. You can kind of taste it and see. But it's actually looking pretty good. You can see how everything kind of just mashes together and it'll be great. Okay, so we're gonna get salt and pepper and see if this salt even, it gets very moist down here. So anyways, we'll have to try that. All right, and pepper. Now you could use white pepper if you don't want to see the little specks. Personally, I don't mind the little specks. I'm just a mom making potatoes, so I'm fine with that. So we're gonna get all the way around, make sure we've got it nice, and we're gonna give it a little taste. See how we're doing. I can smell the boursin. It's hot. Definitely salty enough. Hi, Bingy. I'm gonna add a little more cream, actually. And then I think we're good. So now I gotta get this to their house and not be cold. So I'm gonna leave it in the pot. Hopefully I don't need anything once I get there. Or I'll be asking for some cream. I'm gonna save some of these chives to put on top once I put it in the bowl. But I'll give you the idea. And we'll put a little parsley on top. It's gonna look great. Meanwhile, we're gonna put the lid on, keep it warm. I'll probably use one of these 2 bowls. This one feels big now, but I'm used to doing big things, so I'll probably use just the nice clean white one. And that, my friends, is Chateau potatoes.
Whew. Well, you know, the dream of owning a French chateau, I think there's men and there's women that dream about it. I think probably, my guess is there's more women than men, but with some of the work you got to do, it sure is nice to have both. Like, I'm just hauling this garbage. It is heavy. I do not know how my wife would do it. I think she'd have to do it in 3 trips maybe. But of course, in our relationship, I'm a little bit bigger and stronger. That's not always the case. There's some very strong women, but oh my goodness. It's handy to have a guy around sometimes. And of course, it goes without saying that it's handy to have a lady around. There's so many things that each gender brings to the table, and I am deeply thankful for all the gifts that my wife has and what she does. Honestly, I sometimes say Leslie is my sine qua non, which is a Latin phrase meaning without which nothing. It's just a great phrase. Like if she's not a part of the picture, this thing is done in a second, because we could not do it without her expertise on design, on looks, her ability to manage the staff when the students are here, and also of course cooking, and honestly just her stability and her drive and her ambition. Without those things, there's no way we'd be doing what we're doing. So, you know, at least in our situation, you really can use both genders. Look at the property. Sometimes it just looks so beautiful. Little steam coming off the fields, the sun, all the beautiful trees. Well, it's definitely getting to be winter here. Got beautiful green grass still. And remarkably, we still haven't finished clearing this forest. It's always been too rainy to burn all the wood, all the scrap. So it just sits there, but it continues to improve. It's so nice when the field is either, you know, growing with tall corn, or like this, it's just been tilled. Looks beautiful, so uniform. And it's been a great day. It's been a pleasant day now. We've been working, as it's been a tough year, as you guys know, for us, and so we had a lot of busy days. And so we wanted to do the French advent, but we're also extremely tired. So there's a couple days like today where we didn't do a ton of projects. I'm gonna go work on the internet for a bit and getting the Wi-Fi going, but really, you know, we did not do a ton of work today. We just enjoyed a nice French life. Now this was super fun. Our friends from church, Pastor Mark and Victoria, invited us over to their house. Now Mark he grew up in France, and Victoria grew up in England, and they're a happy couple. It's wonderful. We're very fortunate that they both speak English, since our French is still in development, but we enjoy them very much with their work at the church. And they had us over for a Thanksgiving, belated Thanksgiving dinner. Isn't that nice? And so we had some turkey and some just great Thanksgiving food, including a real pumpkin pie. We're spoiled. Oh, we're so excited.
Start cutting.
We're so excited. We've got pumpkin pie. Mark and Victoria, our pastors from France,
Yeah.
having us over.
Rob's very excited. He gets pumpkin pie.
So on the upside, we had a beautiful day. The video is going to be a little shorter today probably, but we're still glad you came with us, and be back for more tomorrow. We'll get back to it. Mr. Bingley. Mr. Bingley and I have a tradition. When it's dark, we go out to the bathroom at night. Here he is. Here he is. He's ready to go out. And it looks pretty beautiful out there, doesn't it, Bingley? Yeah, okay, let's put your leash on. Oh, do you see the owl? Oh, I gotta have the camera rolling when I come outside. Oh, Leslie was right, too. Look at this. Look at the spider web. Wow. That's impressive, Mr. Spider. Look at how far it goes. That's like haunted house material right there. And then if you guys would have noticed the owl. Oh, look at this side too. Look at this, you guys. The lights on the spider web. Oof. Gotta go back this way to catch it. Look at that. That is cool. All right, the other night the owl gave us the full screech and death howl, and I looked up and he was like flying, not at us, kind of over us. So I don't think he was going for Bingley, but it was something. It was something. All right, Mr. Bingley's ready to curl up on the bed. It's not that cold out tonight. Got to be like 13 or 14 out here. That's what is that? 50s for our American friends. And but it is nice to curl up into the blankets and get warm. All right, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming with us on this abbreviated day.